So today we're going to talk about some inexpensive ways to keep your kids engaged for hands-on learners or just any homeschool projects that you can do within your homeschool. Come along and we're going to talk about it. Hi, my name's Amanda from Learning to Love Well. I'm going to apologize. Normally I'm a little bit more perky than this, but honestly, today has just been one of those days. Like the days where you're ready for it to be over, where you say thanks to the Lord, tell Jesus what you're thankful for, and just close your eyes and go to bed. That has been today. I had some dental work done, so if my lips are a little bit off, you know, it is what it is. So I apologize. There's a little bit of a glare on my glasses. Let's see if I can... Oh, you know what? Let's just do it blind. We've done it before. Let's do it again. So if you are new to the channel, my name's Amanda from Learning to Love Well, and this is a channel all about homeschool, about practical, biblical encouragement, and just a place for moms who are either veterans or newbie homeschoolers that they can learn tips, share tips, or just honestly get a little encouragement, because homeschool is not a sprint. It is definitely a marathon, especially if you're planning on doing it all the way up. And if the Lord is leading you this way, absolutely. Sometimes we just need encouragement in what God is calling us to. And so today is going to be simply 5 things that you can try in your homeschool that are projects that could be fun and encouraging and that can actually teach multiple things in different subjects that honestly don't break the bank. And so for that, let's actually dive in. So the first one is pretty simple. I have my notes off to the side if you just saw my face light up. And it's just because I rabbit trail. This will also help me keep accurate information. So if I got to pull up my computer, no judgment, okay? No judgment. Okay, the first one is actually something that we did over the weekend, and it's called winter sowing. So if you have never ever gardened or anything else before, winter sowing is the idea of actually taking a plastic jug, cutting it in half, leaving a little bit attached, putting soil in the bottom, putting seeds out, taping the bottle back up, labeling the bottle, and laying it out in the winter. This is really good for plants that have to cold stratify if you're not in the gardening world, which basically means like they have to be exposed to the cold before they will actually germinate. But the really cool thing about winter sowing is it takes a plastic bottle, some soil, and some seeds, and a Sharpie marker for labeling it. It's a very inexpensive thing, and you can actually see the roots develop because obviously the plastic's pretty clear on the side. You get to see little seedlings spring up. This is going to be helping with horticulture or botany and even science projects, and it's very inexpensive. It's the cost of a water jug. If you have a pen laying around, you already have that. A little bit of soil or dirt, and no, it does not have to be sterilized soil because it will be placed right back outside. So some dirt and a pack of seeds, which you can get a pack of seeds at Dollar Tree for $1.25. You can get soil pretty inexpensive at any gardening soil, or if you have some good topsoil in your backyard, just throw some in there. And then just water it down and you are good to go. This project could be as little as $3 for a lot of people, and your kids will get to watch their own little plants grow. If you do flowers, you'll have something to plant out later. If you do vegetables, it'll be something that you can collect later. Fairly inexpensive, fairly easy, and yeah, it's a pretty cheap science experiment, which is very cool. The second thing is writing a letter to somebody who needs encouragement. Now, if you have any widows in your family, if you have anyone who is just lonely in your family or even in your church family, getting your kids engaged in doing things for other people and just encouraging other people is a very inexpensive writing project. A lot of times, if kids are just writing and writing and writing and they really don't have any purpose to what they're writing, they might not put as much effort into it as they would if they have a purpose. And so writing a letter and sending it off to somebody, they get to learn writing style, editing techniques, They get to learn how to form a cohesive letter that makes sense, send encouragement to each other, so you can add biblical encouragement, scripture into these letters, showing your kids how to uplift people who might need encouragement. Another great thing is they will learn how to address a letter, and they will also learn grammar, spelling, all the things that comes with language arts. And this is a fairly inexpensive project. It's the cost of one envelope, maybe a couple sheets of paper, pencils I'm sure you already have on hand, and one stamp, which I did the math, which could be 73 cents. So this could be a project that literally costs you less than $1 to do, and it engages your kids and gives them a purpose to their writing. This next project is actually publishing one of your kids' books. So Barnes & Noble has a side website called Barnes & Noble Nook or Press. It used to be called Nook, now it's called Press. This is a website where you can actually self-publish books, and they don't have to go out into the public. So if you have a child who really struggles with writing, and you know that them putting in a ton of effort and creating a story just for it to go in the grade book seems discouraging, this could be a really fun project to get your kids excited about writing and illustrating. So in Barnes & Noble Press, you could have your children make a creative writing picture or a creative writing story, type it out on Canva, add clip art, and upload it all for free to Barnes & Noble Press. And books that are 25 pages and lower are actually only about $6 to publish. If you add that with the shipping cost, you're looking at a project under $15 or $20 to ship and get to you. And it's actually a book that your child will be able to hold on to. This again encompasses all the writing skills that you're going to need, as well as publishing skills. And the cool thing is you can also incorporate some library books. Like one of the library books that we have in our library actually is called How Are Books Made? And you could actually incorporate a reading book about how books are published and allow them to walk through it as well. So it's just a really cool thing, and getting them engaged in their writing and making writing a little bit more fun. And again, this could ultimately cost under $20 per kid, depending on how much you spend on shipping. But to get an under 25-page book published and illustrated, or whatever you want to do with it, what could be about $6 for a soft cover book. Okay, so number 4 is making beeswax candles. Now this is going to have a little bit more of an upfront cost because of the fact that to get it the cheapest, you're probably going to buy a little bit more beeswax. Now you could go cheaper than this, but I actually am going to pop up some pictures on the screen where I took it. The 5 pounds of beeswax was about $25 on Amazon, and the wicks were about $10.99, something like that, to make 200 candles. Now, if you have never hand dipped candles, it's actually a lot of fun. It's very, very simple to do. You don't have to make 5 pounds of beeswax all at once. You can obviously proportion according to it. You can do get old jars, or those little Yoplait yogurt jars would be adorable. The little the wee, those wee Yoplait jars that you can get at the store after you eat the delicious yogurt. They actually have these little glass jars that be cute, or just a pack of little mason jars, or really any jar that you have around the house. You could either choose to make candles in those jars, or you can do freestanding dip candles. But either way, I priced it out. Even if you spent the $35 up front on Amazon Prime, you're looking and made 200 candles, they would be about 17 cents a candle. This is a project that if you don't want to make 200 candles, it would be really cool to get a couple families to share the cost and just have a candle dipping day. Now, beeswax candles are really cool because they do purify your air. This also qualifies as an arts and crafts project. Plus, you could talk about some of the science that actually is supported with beeswax candles. And you could also use them as gift giving or a way to have your children give gifts to some people. Be a part of reading comprehension because you can actually print off instructions on how to do this. And you could just Google how to make beeswax candles and print off instructions and have your kids read it and then act out what they're doing and kind of have like a Montessori style project. But yeah, 17 cents a candle if you made 200, which I'm not making 200 in a day, but some of you guys are, overachievers. So there you go. Okay. And number 5, which is the last one I'm going to do on this video, is a fairly simple one, which is just simply sewing a button. So I priced this out because we already have buttons at the house. In fact, if you have any old shirts with button-ups, a lot of times if you flip the shirt over, there's actually 2 buttons that come, spare buttons that come on the shirt, because they're buttons that match the shirt. If you have old ones that you're about to throw out, you could just take the buttons off of it. And then it would be a very cheap project. And I found a very mini sewing kit at Walmart for a whole $1. This is like a simple mending kit, but it would work for the button sewing challenge. So if you take all of the price of this, it would be like a $3 to a $1 project. Sewing a button may not seem super fun, but if your kids have never done it, they're actually kind of excited to do it because it's something new and a skill that they get to learn. Plus, it is a good skill to have for your kids, especially since buttons do fall off. Things do break down, and instead of throwing away a whole garment, you can just sew the button on quickly and you are good to go. This is more of a fun arts and crafts kind of project and more of a home economics project. Back in the day when you had home economics classes, which we don't really have anymore, at least I didn't sew a button on in school. Y'all tell me if you did. And we've kind of lost the idea of knowing how to mend, fix our clothes. But if you go back a few years before my time, which I'm in my 30s, my early 30s, so you got to go back a little further than me. We did not have home economics, but the previous generations did. And part of sewing and cooking and all of those things were taught regularly in public school. They're not anymore, but they are really good to have, and a fairly inexpensive hands-on project for your kids. Well, those are my 5 really inexpensive, cheap projects that you can do to make your homeschool a little bit more hands-on. If you have any ideas, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear all your ideas. And yeah, God bless. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Bye.